I think this thing is counting down. Let's see. Live. It says live. Let's see if I sound like Mickey Mouse. I had some sound issues before. Let's make sure this is going good. I'm going to be talking about here in a second. Make sure everybody gets a chance to get on. I'm going to be talking about the coronavirus and real estate. I have been on, I've been getting some calls from clients and things wondering, are we experiencing another 2008 and 2009? And I've been in some realtor forums where realtors have been talking about it being 2008 and 2009. And first of all, I want to say before we go into this is our hearts and our prayers and our thoughts go out to people who've been affected by this thing. And, you know, that we're all making a lot of sacrifices because we're all trying to protect our grandparents and our parents. And it's worth it. They would do it for us, whatever. You got to lock me down for a couple of weeks, fine. If we got to suffer the inconvenience to save our grandparents and our parents, I'm in. Okay, so I want to get it off of that. And our thoughts and prayers to any of you who have sick or immunocompromised people or elderly people that this is affecting. So real estate, I want to prove to you with 5 simple graphs that I'm going to share on my screen here in a second that this is not, I repeat, not 2008, 2009 again. Here's why this is important. Yes, the stock market is crashing. Boom, down it goes, right? It's a roller coaster. The only way you lose money in the stock market when it goes down, by the way, is if you sell. Hang on, it'll come back out of it. If you're a day trader or something like that, you got to do what you got to do. But look, it goes down. It always comes back up. It always has. It always will. Lock in your loss. There you go. I'm not a stock trader, so I shouldn't be giving any stock advice. But I am a real estate agent, so I'm going to give you some real estate advice. Let me share my screen, guys, to prove to you beyond the shadow of a doubt with numbers that this is not, I repeat, not 2008, 2009 again. So I'm going to share this with you. I'm going to get small and the screen will get big here with this. You should be able to see my screen any second here. And this is going to prove to you. What I want you to know about this is 2008, 2009, and what is happening now is like comparing apples to oranges. By the way, this is mine and Stacy's blog that you're looking at. I'll put the link down below so you can actually read this stuff and see it. But I want to go through this briefly on live because it's important to get this message out. In fact, if you're a realtor, I'm willing to share my graphs with you so you can share it to your sphere. I'll do it. If you want to have it, I'll share it to you. I think it's that important to get the word out because unless we want to experience another 2008 and 2009 again, we've got to have people relax and understand that it's different. Look, people have PTSD from the last time. They're still afraid of buying at the wrong time, or worse, stop paying their mortgage or something crazy like that. This is a temporary blip. The stock market took a crash. Okay, it did. It's going to come back. But the real estate market's not going to, guys. It's still on unless people start acting foolishly, like backing out of homes they're in contract on or deciding not to list in the greatest seller market in the history of real estate. Here's why, okay? First of all, mortgage standards are nothing like they were in 2009. During the housing bubble, it was not difficult to get a mortgage. Nowadays, it takes a little bit of, you got to have decent credit, but decent credit. And we're not doing what's called liar's loans. If you knew back then in 2008, 2009 what we were doing, take a look at this graph. This is the housing bubble. This is called the Mortgage Credit Availability Index. If you look at this back there, it was so easy to get a loan. Look, we would have 2 people working like, I shouldn't be laughing, but we would have 2 people that would be working at $10 an hour jobs, right? And so they're making $40,000 combined. And we're selling them $250,000 homes back then because they could do what was called a liar's loan. No income, no assets. They could just state their income. They could say they were making $100,000. We'd charge them 0.3% higher rate. And lo and behold, they'd get a house. Now, how long do you think they lasted in that home before they foreclosed? Of course, okay? So here's where we are today. And it's like it was with all the other steadiness. We are not in the housing bubble for the Mortgage Credit Availability Index. People need to have good credit, which means they're paying their bills, okay? Here's the other thing. Step number 2, graph number 2. Prices are not soaring out of control. Now, it may seem like it. It may feel like it, but this graph is going to show the annual house appreciation over the past 6 years. Take a look leading up to the economic crash. Double-digit appreciation. That is from a thing we called speculation. What's speculation? That is where, for example, a family in Minnesota who lived in Minnesota, worked in Minnesota, would buy 5 houses in Las Vegas or down in, let's say, Fort Myers or something, right? They would buy the homes as investment properties, but they didn't put any renters in it. You know what they would do? They'd sit on the house 7 to 8 months, and then they'd flip it and take the profit because it was going up at 12.5%. Buy a $500,000 house, it goes up at 12.5%. You made $75,000 on it in 8 months. Who wouldn't do that, right? It was crazy. And so people were buying all these houses and there were no butts in them. Nobody was sleeping in them. They were empty and they would sit empty for a few months and then people would flip them. That's not happening now. Take a look now. This is the last 6 years. Look at this nice steady appreciation, 4, 5, and 6%. That is beautiful. It's great if you're a seller, especially if you're only paying 3.5% interest and it's going up at 5 or 6%. That's another video for another day. Basically free money right now, by the way, for you to buy. But look, there's a big difference in those periods. Normal appreciation is 3.6%, while our appreciation is a little higher than that, but it's certainly not what it was in the early 2000s where it was double digit. That double digit's too high. It's too much. That's a bubble that's going to pop. We don't have that. Okay, number 3, we do not have a surplus of homes on the market. We have a shortage. I'll give you an example. Real estate, Ohio, 2,500 homes available. 4 agents for every house. Let alone people that are looking for them. Have enough inventory. Okay, so back during the crisis, leading up to the crisis, we had over 8 months of inventory sitting. 3 months inventory in Columbus, Ohio. It's way less. This is the national average, by the way, because even though real estate is localized, you still have to look at it on a macro scale based on what's happening in the entire country. So localized, we have way less than 3 months in Columbus, but on the national scale, it's 3 months. That's really great. It's in a perfect position. We don't have 8 months worth of inventory. That means, when it means months inventory for sale, that means if no one else at the current rate of sales would be left before there were 0 homes available. Okay, very simple to understand. We are nowhere near what we're at leading up to 2008. Number 4, houses became too expensive to buy back then. The affordability index formula has 3 components: the price of the home, okay, the wage and mortgage rates available at the time. 14 years ago, right, when we were looking at the crisis, the run up to the crisis, prices were high, wages were low, and the rates were over 6%, which from a historical standpoint, 6 was great. But right now, today, I saw a rate of 2.75. I was helping somebody get a West 7.5 30-year fixed, less than 3%. That's free money, by the way, guys. An appreciation rate of 6, an interest rate of 2.75, and you can write off your interest on your taxes. You're getting paid to borrow money to buy a house. I'll show you the math on that. It's a different video for a different time, but it's time to buy. Okay, so look at though. Look at the median income needed to purchase a median priced home. So median is this: out of all the homes for sale, what is the exact middle? So not the average, it's the median, the dead middle. What was the median income needed? 25.4% of the median income to buy a median priced home. So that's a big number leading up to that. A lot of people had the income they were making sucked up into buying a home, median priced home. Look at today. Yes, houses are more expensive today, but wages have been increasing, right? And so, and then here's the last one, number 5, and the most important. Guilty as charged right here, right? Many immediately withdrew their equity once it built up, and they learned their lesson in the process. Prices have risen really nicely over the last few years, leading to over 50% of the homes in this country having greater than 50% equity. Half the people you know are sitting on at least 50% equity in their home. Even if the market took a dip in the real estate market, which it's not going to because of supply and demand economics, even if it did, people would still be sitting on equity. We're not going to have upside down homes. People could still get out. If something horrific happened, they got just something awful like a divorce or something, they can still sell, get out, and not be upside down. We don't have to worry about short sales and things like that, okay, that crush the market when you have a foreclosure in the community. So here's what it's looking at. Take a look. The refinance boom is when people pull equity out. In 05, 06, and 07, you're talking, look at 06. 300 billion. But look at here. Look at this. It's a quarter of those numbers. Okay. So a total there of 232 billion over the 3-year window. This is not, it is not 2008, 2009 all over again. Here's one of the reasons why. Millennials. You millennials out there, we love you. There's 94 million of you. Buying the first home right now is 33. 33 every year for the next 10 years. Which demographic? It's the millennials. They're bigger than the baby boomers. The baby boomers were 72 million of them. There's 94 million millennials that are going to drive the house. Each year for the next 10 years, there are 9 million of them that are going to turn the age of 33, which is home buying age. Now, here's why there's a housing shortage. We're only building 1 million a year houses across the country. 9 million people becoming buying age. Let's say they couple off, so there's 4.5 million couples each buying. I'm not saying you have to be a couple to buy. I'm just saying if you did couple off, 4.5 million buyers for 1 million new homes. The math doesn't equate, right? Supply and demand economics. It doesn't matter what happens with the coronavirus. It doesn't matter what happens with the next crisis that comes along, guys. Crisis always happen. There's always a war. There's always some type of economic battle going on, tariffs or something like that. There's always some type of pandemic happening, right? Always going to be happening. That's just life. I've lived through a bunch of them in my life. This one is not going to affect the housing market, provided we continue on as normal. Now, some of you are going to say, but the media is saying blah, 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 blah. Well, here's the thing. Stop listening to the media. I don't care which one you listen to. The job of the media is to simply terrify you, to get you to stay tuned in. It's their job to get, for their people they're advertising with them, it's their job to get you locked in and stay on 24/7, running their different channels 24/7, breathlessly screaming how awful it is and how we're all going to, whatever's going to happen to us next. Again, not making light of the situation. It's a serious situation, but we'll get through this. We've been through it before. Anybody remember the swine flu? Remember that one? Right? It happened. We worked through it. We learned from it, and we got better. The same thing's going to happen with this one. What we're asking is this. Stay the course. Pass the word around. Have people relax. We know some people are out of work right now. The government's going to give you guys some money to keep you afloat. It's not anybody's fault that some virus happened. They're going to happen. They're going to continue to happen as mankind continues to go on. They always do happen. They've always been around. They always will. And we'll get through it. We're going to take care of our grandparents and our parents. We're going to make the sacrifices we need to make. So here's what can happen now for showing houses. Are we still showing houses? Hell yeah, we are. We're still showing them. Here's what we're doing. We're scrubbing down. We got sanitizer with us. We've got little Clorox wipes for you to go through when you're opening the doors, looking in the cabinets and things like that, to be respectful of the sellers. We're going through their house. We got masks to wear, right? So we're not spreading germs into their house. The seller's going to open up their home still for you to see. Open houses. We have a mobile sanitizing station at our open houses where you come in, you squeeze out the sanitizer on your hand, you get it on, you put on some gloves, you go through the house. If you'd like to be extra respectful, bring your mask with you and put your mask on when you're going through there. We'll keep everybody apart by 6 feet, seeing the houses on open houses, and we'll get through this thing. We'll continue moving on with the real estate market. The real estate market is where a ton of Americans have their wealth built up in there. We need to protect it by just being Americans, continuing to be consumers, continuing on, being patient, loving each other, showing each other a little bit of respect. If if there's somebody out there and you want to see a house and you're working with us and you can't make it, we'll take you through and FaceTime you through the house, man. We're modern now, right? We can show you the house. You can say, open up that cabinet door. We'll take you over there with the camera on the phone and show you what's going on in there and get you written up. We do our doc signings now electronically. Let's continue on. Do me a favor, spread the word. If you don't want to do this video yourself, realtors, pass this around. Show it to people. Get a hold of your realtor, guys. Get your home on the market. We need it. They have buyers for it already. We can get it sold. Probably won't even have to take very many showings to get it done, man. Maybe you have one day of open houses. You probably have multiple offers, and you'll have a house, and you'll be in great shape. We'll keep the economy going with the real estate market. Stock market will do what it does. It's going to come back, but it's going to be a roller coaster ride for a while with that. But we don't have to have the roller coaster ride with real estate. So good luck to all of you out there. Stay safe. If Stacy and I can ever do anything, we'd love to be there and help you out. If you're just nervous as to what's going on, give us a call. We'll see if we can calm you down. I got a microbiology degree. I know I'm in real estate, but I got a microbiology degree. I can help you out understanding viruses and things like that. So I want to thank everybody for jumping on. Again, if you're a realtor and you want access to these graphs, I think it is important that we get the word out to our people and let them know, to everybody, that it's going to be fine. We need to be calm and relaxed and just continue on with real estate as it is, and it's going to be great. So on, have a great one. I will talk to you guys soon.